This week, I saw the impact of giving and taking space, and that's inspired this week's Sunday question. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Denise Brown. I connected with two colleagues this week, one who's been going through a terrible health crisis. She had been in and out of the hospital and finally was home for a couple weeks. So my colleague and I met with her for a business meeting, but the business kind of took the back burner. So I asked her how she was doing. She said, fine. I asked her, what could we do to support and help her? And she said, I've got people. I'm okay. And then the other colleague and I just sat in silence. We paused. And then our other colleague, recovering from this terrible health crisis, started sharing. She spent the next 20 minutes talking about how she was doing, crying about what she had been through. And at the end of the 20 minutes, she said, oh, I guess I did need someone to talk to. And what was so profound about that was the pause, the space. When she said, I'm okay, I've got people, we didn't rush to the next topic. We just paused, gave her moments. Ah, I just was so impacted by that. And then a few days later, I gave myself space. My niece reached out. She had an afternoon off. And so she said, let's do something. And I said, you know what? Let's do something. I gave myself the afternoon off. I canceled something that I hold every week that's not well attended. I thought, why would I host an event that's not well attended rather than just canceling it because it was Halloween and spending the afternoon with my niece? And so that's what I did. And the space was fabulous. Oh my gosh, we didn't do really anything other than lunch and walk. And it felt like we had been on a little mini vacation. The power of space. And so that's what's inspired this week's Sunday question. And here it is. How can I make space? What if we stopped rushing so we could give ourselves space? What if we stopped demanding so much of ourselves so we could take space? I think we understand that our fast pace and the day's constant pressure takes its toll on us. We know what it feels like not to have a chance to relax and to always see a new deadline on the calendar. I also believe that the rush and the pressure take up too much space in our life. Without enough space, we rush through connections that could give us a break if only we slow down. The lack of space also means we may miss an important moment that reminds us of what matters most. We miss what could bring us joy, what could bring another comfort, and what could help us cope. This week, let's focus on taking our time so we give our moments the space they need to be impactful. When we think about what needs space, we can consider hearing our wisdom so we can make good decisions, listening to another so we can offer comfort, owning our heartache so we can receive comfort, resting so our body gets a break, giving ourselves moments for what we enjoy so our worries take a reprieve, focusing on our priorities so we don't regret time wasted, living by our values so we don't spend time in the wrong way, making time for our own quality of life and well-being. We can remind ourselves to make room for what matters most by asking ourselves this question to begin the day: how can I make space? What do you need room in your day for? Stop by our community, caringourway.com, and let us know. Each week, we craft a Sunday question because I believe when we think of a good question, we open up possibilities as our mind looks to find the right answer that's right just for you. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Denise Brown.